get in. I heard that's like a little bit laggy when you start doing these lives. I've experienced that before. I don't know why this chair is so. Hold on, let me move this chair up. Because we ain't trying to hear squeaking and squawking. Um, let's move this a little closer. Okay. Basically, I am so happy to be on here. I'm so happy that I have my own apartment. I feel good. Everything feels a lot better. It's been a little bit of hecticness moving in, but other than that, I've been feeling good. My natural hair is doing its thing. I have to wait for my bestie to bring my jacket because I left it at her house. So I'm gonna be up for a minute, but I did want to get on here and just have a conversation. A lot of daily shows are getting canceled, and quite frankly, I'm happy. They're very toxic and male centered. I felt like those shows are really male centered. I did not enjoy them. I enjoyed the Wendy Williams show, but that only happened after I matured. Because when I first started listening to Wendy Williams, because my parent was, I remember being in the living room and hearing Wendy Williams be on the TV, and I was like, what'd she say about Sierra? I love Sierra. I don't like her. She talked bad about Sierra. And basically, I don't even know what the conversation was about. All I know is she said something that I didn't like. And I was like probably 14 or something. Flash forward to college days, and I'm mature and I'm understanding things. I fall in love with Wendy Williams and I love everything that she does, everything that she says. Now, some things are a little crooked. It's not for me that she says, but I realized she was just being real. And something about that captured me when I got to college. I think because I just matured. So when it comes to people saying Wendy got what she deserved and things like that, when it comes to dementia, that didn't happen because she was talking shit about people. It didn't happen because she was telling the truth. That's not how that works. What happened was this is what's in her family, and she was also using substances, right? So it happens, but it's that it makes it worse. That's what makes dementia worse. And I think she has some other things. But she was still thriving and going through it with her content, even when she wasn't feeling well. And I really give her big props because not a lot of people can do that. Um, I genuinely like people who are real. I like people who are going to tell you something to your face. I like people who are going to be okay with you disagreeing or not liking them. That's how my channel got started. Like, people didn't like me. People didn't like what I had to say. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing it. That literally is the reason why I started. I had a group of bullies from my college decide that they were going to lie on me and kick me out of a motherfucking school club like it was the end of the world just because I wasn't with their shenanigans. I wasn't with the frat parties. I wasn't with the being insecure. I wasn't with the being all over niggas for $0. Like, I did not care. And I said no to those group of people, and they tried to punish me and say that I made them feel uncomfortable because I told them the truth. And that's the reality. Like, when I listened to Wendy Williams when I first heard her, she made me feel uncomfortable because I told her the truth. She know, sorry, I gotta make sure people are being good in the chat. Um, but like, comment, and subscribe. If you are here, please be well rested. Please be respectful. I never understood that why people come into somebody's live, but you don't like what they're saying, but you have enough time to comment. Like, does that make any sense? But anyways, I digress. I truly do love making content with my own commentary. I don't care what anyone has to say. That's what you have to take on that, and you have to be able to take on people's hatred. Like, if somebody doesn't like you, you have to take that on. You can't just like be like, okay, I want everyone to like my content. I'm not there yet. Like, I have people that are amazing. Hi Maria. I love your photo. Um, you gotta just make it. You can't not make it. Does anybody know Wendy Williams and what I'm talking about? Does anybody know what I mean by like daytime TV and daily TV, you know? Hi Mary. I hope you're doing well. Did anybody watch the Wendy Williams show? I went to the show. I went to the show. That was one show I did not want to get canceled, even though her mental health and everything, like, she needs to get herself together, in her physical health. That's one show I didn't want to get canceled. Like, the Sherri Shepherd show, I'm so happy that's being canceled. Everyone has said she's a pick me. Everyone has said she's a man pleaser and she doesn't do anything for women. I agree with that. I didn't like Sherri Shepherd because when she first started and she came out, she used a YouTube channel that was already used. She bought one. And then secondly, I just didn't like that you took Wendy's spot almost. And I don't think that's what she meant to do, but that's what she did. And she never ever has anything bad to say. And I'm like, look, my channel, you may get mad at me because I got a lot of stuff to say that might be bad, but I'm gonna always give you the real tea. I'm gonna give you the truth. And that's what Wendy gave. So it was like we came across Sherri Shepherd and it was like, who is this? Who's Shay Shepherd? Whose mama is this? And then did y'all know like she had a whole bunch of she dated men and married a guy who was broke, and now this man is taking her money? What's going on? I think Mary J. Blige, Sherry Shepherd, you have a lot of women that have fallen into that. And that's another thing. I have a lot of men who watch my content and they get so aggravated. They get so nasty to me in the comments. They get so mean. And you know what's so crazy? I'll never ever date them. I don't know them, don't want to know them. Bitch. What's up? And I feel good about that. Point blank, period. Like, it's so interesting how you have a group of people who want you to do terrible things because they've done terrible things. They're a baby mama. They got a deadbeat in their life. They ain't got no money and they taking care of a man. They do got some money and they still taking care of a man with a kid, everything. You have people like this who just want you to follow in their footsteps. Or they want you to be doing those things and think that is a good thing because they fucked up and can't realize that they fucked up. Point blank, period. It's a thing. It is a thing. It's weird, it's cringy, but that's why I make this content. I am choosing not to date right now. If love finds me, it finds me. But I'm in a mature place where I understand not to be male-centered. Dating is dating, yes, but at some point it does get to a phase where you become male-centered because you're so focused on dating. Like, the amount of men that I've encountered that don't like my viewpoints because they are for women, they are for my safety, they are for my sanity, they are for your safety, they are for your sanity. I'm tired of meeting them. I'm tired. And it doesn't even have a look. Any guy can be like this. Some people say, oh, nerds are nicer. No, they're not. If anything, they're the most evil. But also, there's another thing. I feel like in the black community, a lot of black men want to work out and go to the gym and then think that you're supposed to be all over them and that's all they need to do. I've noticed that the black men that go to the gym the most are the biggest bums. Yes, yes. The ones that work out the most be compensating for the money that they don't got. And I've had so many arguments with men. I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a break because why am I arguing with men? Why am I arguing with men? Like, that's me. That's my fault. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? So when I see all of this stuff on television and all these daily shows and, you know, the way they're just like, oh, I'll talk to a guy who has no money. I could buy myself a steak. I could buy myself a drink. I don't care if you can buy yourself something. If someone cannot do something for themselves and they're a man, they have patriarchy and misogyny on their side. If they cannot take advantage of that crap that we have in this world just to get some cheddar, what are they going to do for you? Absolutely nothing. And my content is for women. The audience is starting to change and shift, and I'm very happy about it. But at the same time, I do get those annoying men that don't like what I'm saying, but like how I look, that come into my atmosphere. And there's nothing I can do about it, and I've learned to just let it go. Like, don't bother with them, don't comment back, don't do anything that is going to mess up your peace. And that's something that I had to work on, all me. That is something that I had to work on. So when it comes to these shows and these talk shows, I think that they're going to change forever. I think that talk shows, the only talk show that might be around after this would be The Real. Talk shows are not the greatest because they don't happen as fast. Like, it happens in the morning at 9 o'clock or something, and then the next day, guess what? Like, it's like during that day, you're trying to figure out, are they going to talk about what has happened? Breaking news, but you have to wait till the next day, till they come in, till they get dressed up, till they sit down, till they have the live audience there. That's a whole production. It's pretty expensive if you ask me as well. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that talk shows are disappearing so that we can focus more on small content creators and we can focus on content creators on here. Now, I will say it's not easy doing YouTube. It maybe used to be a long time ago, but it's not anymore. You really, really have to be on here every single day. You have to be making lives. You have to make your shorts. You have to make your videos. It is very hard. When I first started, I think it was a lot easier for me when I did not have a job. Making content is so easy. You can be on here all day. You can be just going and posting and posting and posting. And it feels a lot more easier than when you do have a job because you're out and about. You might be in uniform. You don't want to show it. I don't want to show my uniform. So it's like that it really hinders you when it comes to creating content. There could be music in the background when you're in public. So I think that when you don't have a job, making content is a lot easier, but I'm not telling you not to have one because you don't know. This will take off. Like your YouTube, my YouTube, we will all do it together. But at the end of the day, you can't just give up on actually having a job. That's one thing I don't like. Hold on, you guys. Give me 1 second. That's one thing I don't like. Ooh, don't like and can't stand. Let me make sure I have my stuff. Okay. Hold on, y'all. All right, I'm back. It's actually a body butter, but 48-hour moisture. It's a swivel stick moisture for dry lips. But you also can use it for like your hands and stuff like that. Oh, okay. We're gonna pick that up later. But yeah, I make a lot of women forward content, and a lot of people, not a lot of men get very upset at it, and I just continue to make it. But when you're doing like a live show, you don't really have comments flooding in. You don't have to see all of that. It is very hard, I will say. So where do I think it's going? I think that it is gonna be more YouTube videos, but once again, like you could have a whole audience that you bring to YouTube, and it's not gonna be satisfying for you because you're not gonna see the money. You're not gonna see the money the first time you start. You're just not. If you think that, because you have to understand, they get makeup, they get production, everything is produced for them. There are people who start YouTube and have producers. There's even people that I think can keep an audience more than I can. I think that I'm failing in that truly, and I want to work on it, but I just speak how I speak, and I can't change that. However, I've seen like a lot of YouTubers that literally just start up and they just are so good at grabbing people's attention, and I commend them. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. They're being themselves. I'm being myself, but myself can be a little hectic. So some people don't get it, but that's okay. Um, but it's like you can do all that, but if you don't have the strength to keep going, it's not gonna work. You see how I got a job and I didn't have an apartment. Now I got an apartment and now we're flowing again, right? We're getting back on the road to doing YouTube, but you know, getting a job and basically having a life, it's not easy to create YouTubes now. Also, you have to, be careful with what you say. Like, I have to say things in a certain way because I could lose my job. These are things that we're saying. People get offended. It's not right because no one should dictate what you do just because they're offended. Like, black women get offended on a motherfucking daily, okay? It doesn't make no goddamn sense why anybody would get offended by me telling the truth. But that's the country we live in. That's the world we live in. When you tell the truth, people get really upset instead of just being like, dang, she said the truth. Like, I really hear her. I hear that. It's not like that. So we're getting towards the audience that I want, and I'm very happy about it. But when it comes to just doing daytime TV, the audience they got is the audience they got, and everybody's gonna be tuned in. Also, there's a lot of the older generation is watching TV. I think they are gonna switch to YouTube, but that might take a minute, in my opinion. I think there's a lot of people who are holding on to cable. There's so many people who are holding on to cable, but you have to understand these people you see on TV are just like us. And that's one thing that I started to understand and why I felt more inclined to get onto YouTube. Because these people they're just like me. They're no smarter. They're they're really no smarter. I can say no words, but they're no smarter than you. So get on here and have a conversation. Like daytime TV is like done. It's over and it feels good. And I think the last one standing will be the Jennifer Hudson show. I think they messed up. And I'm gonna tell you where all these daytime television shows messed up. The Jennifer Hudson show has the Spirit Tunnel. The Spirit Tunnel is really great. However, that's online and you're taking something you're doing in a show, putting it online. If I see the main thing that I want to see online, I don't need to see it in the show. That's where they messed up because when you think about Beyonce, she doesn't talk, right? She doesn't give interviews. She doesn't do nothing. You got to go to her concert. You got to buy her perfume. You got to go to something of hers to see or hear her say barely anything, So that's how she gets people riled in. And the same thing with Rihanna. Rihanna has learned that and is a successful billionaire, and so is Beyonce. So when it comes to television, even reality TV, because online exists and they're showing us so much crap online, it's like, why do we even bother getting cable? We could see it all online. And it reminds me of why, like, all these reality TV shows are going, like, they're going kaputs. Everything's just getting shut down, basketball wise, Love and Hip Hop. Honestly, I'm not going to say Zeus Network is taking them out. I will just say the online culture is taking them out. All these celebrities keep going online and having conversations, and it's like, shut up. You have conversations, you have fights, you have drama, you have all this stuff online. So it makes us know that we don't have to watch the show. We don't have to watch the show. You can find everything on TikTok and their copyrights is another story, so you can find it on TikTok. Now, as far as the colorism in those shows, y'all know why I'm not watching the Basketball Wives of Love and Hip Hop. They always had the same chick and the same outcome. It was a light skinned chick. It was someone who was racially ambiguous, someone who's just not black, with a black man in media, and they dogged them out. They did them dirty. They had children. It was like, enough is enough. And then they would be fighting over these black men that ain't shit. Like, it was just like, oh my God. I didn't want to watch it anymore. I did not want to watch that anymore. So yeah, I think all these shows can go to hell. Like, I'm tired of them. One show that I am getting into, only because of Candace, is Traders. I'm really getting into Traders. I like it a lot. At first I didn't understand the show. I didn't think it was that great. And then I watched how people would talk about Traders, and I was like, okay, maybe I should give it a shot. And I gave it a shot, and I do like it. So I'm going to continue to watch it, and I'll let y'all know what I think. But does anybody here watch Traders? Let me know. It is late, so your girl is pretty tired. I want to make some shorts, but that's just my little talk about where I think reality TV is going, where I think daytime television is going. I think it's going nowhere. Zeus Network, before I leave, Zeus Network is not the reason why things are going out of business, but I will say, you know how we used to wait like about 10 episodes to see one fight? Zeus Network does it in the pre-episode, in the auditions. So, if you're looking for entertainment where people are fighting, which you can't hold me accountable. I was, when I was like 10, instead I was immature, I was looking at all that stuff. You know how we would wait on Love and Hip Hop, like literally be like, okay, this is the episode, are they gonna fight? Are they gonna fight? Are they gonna fight? You gotta wait like 10 episodes just to see one little glass being thrown. Zeus Network is doing something different, and they do it right then and there on the spot, first second. So it's quicker. It's quicker. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. A lot of people don't have cable. There's no, what do they call it? Subscriptions, I guess. I don't know. No one's buying those. So yeah. Anyways, bye y'all. Ooh, not me sneezing.